Hey guys, what's up? How are you? Hope that you guys are having an amazing one today. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Jarell, and in today's video we are going to be trying some new products from Dior. I'm super excited. We do have the Forever Skin Perfector, and this is the multi-use foundation stick, and I did get mine in the shade 3N. I also picked up the Forever Skin Contour, and this one is in the shade 03 medium, and I did get two, which is more of the contour shade, which is the 200 shade, and this one is the shade in 457. Of course, I'm going to show you swatches and application and all of that. It is Sunday for me, and I'm hoping to put this video up for you guys later on tonight. If not, for sure it's going to be available for you guys on Monday, and I'm trying to, you know, get my videos and start filming all over again after my kids started school, so I'm super excited for that. But yeah, let me stop chit-chatting and let's just get down to business. I am going to be doing a wear test. It is 1:23 in the afternoon right now. I am going to go to my in-laws, so let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already. You can also like and comment down below because that definitely helps out my channel so much. And without further ado, let's get started. I am going to be linking everything down below for you guys, just in case you guys are interested. They are affiliated links. I am going to be including what I use to prep my skin, because I think that is definitely a super important step and not to skip, especially when you're trying a new foundation or when you're just applying foundation or any kind of makeup products. It is so important. Go ahead and now get into the products from Dior. Let's go ahead and start with the Forever Skin Perfector. Here we have it in the shade 3N. They do not have a lot of shades available, and that was a little bit surprising and a little disappointing, I'm not gonna lie, just because I usually use the 3W, so not seeing it there, that was just not so good for me. But we are going to go with the 3N. So here we have the beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, luxurious packaging. It might be just a little bit light comparing it to the rest of my body, but I think that is definitely going to work out for me just fine. This foundation stick from Dior does retail for $52 and it's made in Japan. I'm trying to see if there is a shelf life. I don't see a shelf life. Why? And here we have the Dior Skin Contour. You can see the difference from these two right here is that this is glossy, which is the foundation stick, and this one is matte. I think that is absolutely gorgeous packaging, and again, I did get mine in the shade 03 medium, and here we have a swatch of it. Okay, that's really deep, and I understand that it is a contour shade, but yeah, we will see how it actually blends into the skin. This does retail for $47. Let's go ahead and start with the application for the foundation. So I'm going to add the foundation on this side. Okay, just going to do a little swipe on my forehead, very tiny. Not a lot of foundation needs to be applied to my forehead, or I don't like it in particular, just because I don't have any like redness, discoloration. And just in case you guys are new to my channel, I do have an oily T-zone. I live in Florida. It is super hot and humid here. I do have some redness, discoloration around my mouth. I don't know if I said that. I'm pretty normal in the outer part of my face, but yeah, very oily on my T-zone. So we will see how this foundation holds up at the end of the day. I do like for my foundations to be like a medium coverage. That is just my preference, and I definitely want my redness to be covered, or at least, you know, disguised a little bit when it comes to applying any skin tints or stick foundations or just foundations in general. I know that I'm going to need a little bit more help when it comes to the redness around my nose, because it is very intense, and also the discoloration around my mouth. But I can always go with a concealer. I just want to see what this does by itself. So it's blending into the skin very nicely, as you can see, and I think the shade in 3N is working out for me just fine. It's not too pink, which is nice. It's very neutral, a little beigey, which I do like that. Prefer that 100 times better than a pinky tone. All right, so here is the foundation on this side, and it's really nice, but it's not giving me a lot of coverage right off the bat, which I like because I can definitely build it up. Is evening out my skin. You can still see a little bit of my hyperpigmentation over here, which is totally fine with me. I can still very much so see the discoloration around my mouth that I do have and the redness around my nose. Again, concealer is definitely going to help me when it comes to that, but it's giving me a really nice, beautiful, natural finish. It's not too glowy, it's not too matte, it's just very natural, very demure. Oh my gosh, who hates that? Anyways, here is the foundation on this side. I am going to try to build it up just a little bit, especially on the center of my face or the areas of concern that I do have. I'm just going to blend it. I'm using the Sigma F47 brush to blend it into the skin, really like stamp it in, and it's blending really nice. It doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel cakey, it's very, very lightweight. It doesn't feel tight like it's, you know, too mattifying. Again, very, very lightweight on the skin, which I do appreciate that, because if I'm going to be wearing a foundation, I do want it to feel light on the skin, and this definitely does. So it did cover the redness a little bit more. It's not looking like it's too heavy. I do feel like the pores are being accentuated just a little bit by adding that second coat. So maybe like using a primer that is going to help you with that. I am going to continue on testing out this foundation for sure. And of course, I am going to be wearing this foundation, so that is going to give me an idea of how I feel about this foundation at the end of the night. So I will give you a little bit of a review, but I'm not going to be 100% on this foundation because I do want to try it with like different products, different powders, different primers, and see how it actually works. But yeah, this coverage is looking absolutely beautiful so far. It's really, really, really lightweight. I mean, absolutely lightweight. I do not feel it on the skin whatsoever. I mean, my face feels exactly the same way as here, where I don't have any like makeup or anything like that. So I do like that a lot. So a little bit of highlights when it comes to this foundation. It is a multi-use foundation stick for a natural blur finish with up to 24 hours of wear and all-day hydration, which that is fantastic. So here's how the foundation looks. Alright, so now using the Dior Forever 24-hour Skin Contour Stick Sculpting and Bronzing Face Stick, and this again retails for $47. This is in the shade 3, and a little bit about this contour stick. It is a hydrating contour stick that blends effortlessly, enhancing your complexion with a natural looking sculpted / bronze effect for 24 hours. It also says that it will withstand heat and humidity, so we will definitely test it on that. I am going to just apply it directly to the face like so, and on the areas that I usually not bronze but contour, right there, and of course the chin area to like chisel out the chin that I do not have. So here goes. And I'm going to be using this brush right here, which is the Sigma Soft Angle Contour Brush F23 brush. And blend it into my hairline. And really just focusing this contour shade right where I applied it. And then just blend it up. Taking a little bit more with the brush. But I'm also going to be contouring my nose for this video, which is something that I don't usually do. And I'm going to be using this brush right here, which is the Sigma 4D HD. I don't know if this brush is still available, but it is a really nice pointed synthetic brush that helps me to contour my nose. So here is a side by side. You can see that it's definitely giving me definition on this side of my face. It is definitely giving me like a little bit of cheekbones and that structure, which I do like. Way more than on this side, of course, because we just have the foundation. So I am now going to add it to the other side. Let me know in the comment section if you do see a difference. I do really like it. I do like the color for me. I also like the way that it actually blended into the skin. It was super nice and easy, nothing too intense where I felt like it was just a little bit too patchy. It is looking absolutely gorgeous on the skin. The nose contour, man, I really need to work on that because it's it's not my best work. I do have a little bit of a harder time to blend this side and to make it even, just because that's just how it is sometimes. I think that this is my first time trying this brush. I've been having it for a while. I purchased it but never really used it just because I don't usually contour my face, but it is really, really nice. So I'm going to add a little bit of foundation right under the contour shade just to clean things up a little bit. Alright guys, so here's how the skin looks with the foundation stick and the contour stick. It looks really nice, beautiful, natural. I really, really like it. But I am going to add a little bit of concealer, powder my face, and then I'll come back so we can go ahead and now try these two new products again from Dior. We have the shade in 457 and 200. You guys will see it in action in just a second. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, so I am back. Let's go ahead and move on to these products right here. Just by the way, I just added a little bit of mascara, recurl my lashes, finished my brows, and added a little bit of a lip oil lip gloss from LYS. And now let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the face. I am going to be using these ones right here, which are the Shape and Highlighting Couture Duo, Long Wearing, Color, and Comfort. I do have the shade in 457 and 200. Here is 200, which is more of a bronzing shade and a highlighter, and this one is 457, which is a blush and a highlighter. Beautiful classic packaging from Dior. It does have a mirror. Let's go ahead and start with this shade right here, that now that I open it, it's a little bit intimidating just because it seems to be super, super deep. But let me go ahead and just swatch it on the back of my hand. Feels really nice and soft and beautiful. And here we have the highlighter. So it doesn't seem to be that intense, which is nice for my skin tone. I don't know how anyone with a deeper skin tone is going to be able to use this one. I know that there was only like 2 shades if I am not mistaken. One was a little bit too light for me. I already knew, like, just by looking at the pan, it was going to be too light for me. This one, I know that it was going to look a little bit intimidating as it does, but swatching it, it doesn't look that bad. I do really enjoy the highlighter as well. So let's go ahead and swatch it. Now the blush seems to be a little bit hard pressed, and so does the highlighter. Okay, let me do the highlighter side by side so you guys can see if there is a difference, and I can also see if there is a huge difference. And here we have the blush. For the bronzing one, the highlighter does feel like it has a little bit more of a gold, and the highlighter with the blush, it does feel like it has a little bit more of a peachy pinkiness there. So let's go ahead and now apply this one. This does retail for $50. It's made in Italy, and it also has a shelf life of 12 months. So let's go ahead and apply it. I'm going to be using the 112 brush from BK Beauty. Pick this up. Let me just press it on the back of my hand because I want to make sure that it's not picking up too much color, and as you can see, it's not. So let's see how it actually goes onto the skin. Okay, yeah, I can definitely see it way more on top of that contour shade. Lean it off a little bit so I can blend it into the skin. What do we think so far? So here is the contour stick by itself, and here is the contour stick with the powder on top. You can see that it gave us a really nice, beautiful, a little bit of warmness, but not too much. It's definitely more neutral. I'm going to have to go in with my foundation brush just a little bit to clean the edges, and that is how it looks on the skin. So now using the highlighter right on top of the bronzing powder, just for the sake of this video, just so you guys can see a little bit of a better swatch, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. I do like this highlighter on me. It's not too deep. It's not giving me a cast. Here's how the skin looks. It looks really nice and beautiful, but I do feel like this shade in particular is going to be best for me to use it like to contour my face versus warming it up, but it's not too ashy, it's not too grayish. It's looking really nice and beautiful. Going in with the 457 palette, and let me try the blush first. That looks so beautiful. Yeah, I knew that I was going to like this shade. For sure, it's not super pigmented. You can definitely build it up. That looks really nice. Very summery vibes for sure. And this is my fourth time going in just to build the intensity. You can see that it's buildable, but I don't think that you're going to get a lot of pigment from these blushes. Now, this is my fifth time going in. As you can see, it's depositing some pigment because you can definitely see it, but it's not overly pigmented like other blushes could be. So if you are not like into blushes, but you do want a little bit of color and you just don't want to be too scared to applying too much, I think that this is definitely going to be a good palette for you. This is my sixth time going in, and you can see that that's it. I mean, I'm not going to be able to build it up any more than that. So now let's go ahead and try the highlighter using a clean brush. This one is the Sigma F03 brush. Going in with the highlighter. This one does have a little bit more of like that sparkle. So there's a little bit more texture, and comparing it to this one that is just really nice and smooth. There's no glitter to it. There's no sparkles or specks to it. This one does have a little bit of that. So if you're not into that, then maybe the highlighter is not going to be your favorite. I do prefer the highlighter for the other one, which is this one right here, a lot better than this one. But they're still very nice and beautiful, so it really depends on what you are into. It's not going to be for everybody because it is going to accentuate a little bit of your texture a little bit more. This one is just really nice and smooth. And you can see the blush is very, very, very subtle. So here is how the 457 palette looks on the skin. And here is how the 200 palette looks on the skin. All right, so now I'm going to fix it just because I do need to go out, and I'm going to make them match a little bit better. So going in with the contour shade. I just went ahead and used the Makeup Forever Up and Down Tan all over the lips on top of the LYS gloss that I use. I just finished doing my makeup and it is a 2:56 in the afternoon. I'm going to try to wear it as long as I can. I am really liking my complexion. I like all of the products that I use except for one that I'm not super obsessed with. Like, if I could go back in time, would I purchase it? No. For sure. And that has to be the 457 palette from Dior. I just don't think that it's giving me what I really enjoy, which is a lot of blush. I am definitely a blush kind of girl nowadays, and this one is giving me like very natural vibes. I am not super in love with the highlighter as well. It's just not for me. I don't really like the glittery specks on it. I think that it's more targeting for like someone that it's a little bit younger, has like flawless skin. What is that? Where are you? Are you a spider? I can definitely live with a supernatural kind of blush. That's fine. It's just the other half that I'm not so thrilled about, which it does have like a little bit of glitter specks to it, and it's just not my favorite highlighter. So the blush not having enough pigment, the highlighter having a little bit too much of that glitter speck, it's just not for me. But I mean, it is here. I'm not gonna return it. I am going to continue on just testing it out for you guys, but so far up on first application, it's just not my favorite. This one right here, which is the 200, I am super happy for the same reasons, which is so funny because I am really happy that it's not super pigmented. I'm happy that I can build it. I'm happy that it actually shows up on the skin, and again, it's not too pigmented where it is super scary and just not meant for my skin tone. But at the same time, I don't know how much you're going to be able to build this up if you are more on the tanner side. Let me know in the comment section down below if you are deeper in complexion and you have already purchased this. How is it working out for you? let us know, because that definitely helps out everybody that is watching this video. I absolutely love the formula for this highlighter way more than the other one. It is smoother, there's no glitterness, there's no specks of any kind whatsoever. It is really nice and smooth, and I really do like the shade on my complexion as well. So this one is a total win, as well as the contour stick and the foundation. So far I am really liking it. So here is how the makeup looks. And I'm going to show you how the makeup looks with natural lighting, and then I will check back with you guys later on tonight. So here's how the skin looks. It looks so beautiful. Look at that. That looks so nice. Love it. All right, guys, it is 9:41. So I finished applying the foundation maybe around 2 o'clock, but I finished all of my makeup around 3 o'clock. Anyways, it is 9:41 at night, and this is it for my wear test. And here's how the foundation looks. I just looked at it and it looks really nice and beautiful. It's not settling into any of my pores. It's not building up between my brows. Maybe just a little bit of shine on my T-zone, which is pretty normal. It's sitting on the skin really nice and beautiful. I can still see the blush and highlighter a lot. Again, my oils are definitely coming through, but it's not too offensive. I don't mind it at all. And again, the skin is looking really nice and beautiful. I do feel like there is a little bit of redness on my nose, not too much, and the foundation on my chin is still pretty much there. It hasn't worn off. There's not a lot of redness, as you can see here. Very surprised and impressed. I'm sorry, like all of my baby hairs are out of control right now. I'm just looking at it. I mean, I can see a little bit of the texture being emphasized here, like my pores, just a little bit because of the shine, but the foundation is not like separating. It's not really like settling into my pores. It's just the shine that makes my pores like stand out, but it's definitely not the foundation. I can definitely see the redness, like I said, but I'm super impressed because the makeup that I have around my mouth has not really separated, or it's not really like fading like other foundations tend to fade around my mouth and on my chin. And that is impressive. Yeah, I really like this foundation. I'm going to grab a little bit of powder. I'm just really focusing that on my T-zone, and I want to make sure that the foundation is not going to separate or start, you know, like being a little bit too heavy, too textury. And yeah, it's not at all. Okay, that's good. Let me just add a little bit of this gloss to my lips. So here's how the skin looks after touching up. I can still see a little bit of the blush, but it has really almost kind of faded. But everything else, like the highlighter as well as the bronzer, still very much there. I wanted to try a denser brush with the blush just to see if it actually picks it up a little bit better. Look at that. It's like I'm digging into the blush, but yeah, the pigmentation is very soft. And this is a denser brush for sure. And I'm picking up a little bit more. There you go. I need a little bit more color. That's just me. That's just my style. And I think by picking up a denser brush is definitely going to work a little bit better, because I do feel like it gave me a little bit more pigment, but not as pigmented as I'm used to using other blushes. This is really nice, soft, very soft and wearable. By the way, the one thing that I didn't tell you is that these ones right here, the blush and the highlighter, as well as this one, the contour shade and the highlighter, they do have that Dior classic scent, as well as the foundation and the contour stick. They do have that scent as well. I really don't feel like these two right here are as strong as the palette, but they do have that classic Dior scent. That is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love, your time, and support. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, and I will see you next time. Bye.